On April 4th, 1985, an inspiring hot blonde bombshell who aspires to be the next Marilyn Monroe met her first husband, Billy Wayne Smith, working at a chicken joint as a teenager in their small town in Mexia, Texas. Less than a year after they married, they had their son, Daniel Smith. Vicki Lynn Howard, aka Anna Nicole Smith, must have gotten tired of getting burned by chicken grease because she left her husband in their small town and put her mother in charge of their son so that she could get a taste of the big city. Houston, here she comes. Hey everybody! Welcome to the Build Young, Grow Wealthy podcast. My name is Walida Cherie. In today's podcast episode, I will break down the probate litigation of Anna Nicole Smith. Disclaimer, I am not a lawyer. I have done my best to accurately represent Anna's story, except for a few details to make her story more colorful. My research attempts to highlight Anna's story as a cautionary tale of why updated wills are important. This is not legal advice. This is for educational purposes only. Without further ado, let's get into this. In 1991, Anna was working at a strip club in Houston, Texas, when in comes a geriatric man with his cane and I would imagine an oxygen tank assisting him with breathing because, my goodness, can you imagine how his breath must have been taken away when he saw Anna swinging around that pole? The two would have an affair for the next couple of years when J. Howard Marshall II, then an 86-year-old Texas billionaire oil tycoon, wanted Anna to become his next wife. Anna, who in 1993 appeared on the pages of Playboy magazine as Playmate of the Year, secured her spot of becoming a billionaire's wife. In 1993, Anna divorced her first husband, Billy Wayne Smith, and tied the knot with her oldie but goodie 89-year-old billionaire, J. Howard Marshall II, on June 27, 1994. Anna must have been too much for J. Howard's heart to handle because just 13 months after they said I do, he wasn't saying anything. On August 4th, 1995, J. Howard transitioned to his eternal resting place. Anna was devastated. Allegedly, J. Howard signed a new will and amended a revocable trust just days before marrying Anna. He hadn't considered her his wife in any of his documents. This meant that Anna would inherit zero, nada, zilch. It's a good thing she married him for love. The only beneficiary that remained the owner of J. Howard Marshall's billion-dollar estate was one of his two sons, E. Pierce Marshall, who was ironically also part of his father's estate planning. Had E. Pierce Marshall fraudulently removed Anna from his father's will? Anna recounts that J. Howard verbally promised her half of his estate. But of course, courts love he said, she said cases, right, Anna? In 1996, Anna made her first court appearance to claim her part of the estate. Sadly, the Texas jury denied her wishes, stating that she had no claim to the estate. This would also be the year Anna filed for bankruptcy protection in California. She was awarded over $450 million and made her second appearance on Playboy magazine, but this time as the $450 million Playmate. E. Pierce Marshall, J. Howard's only legal beneficiary of his estate, appealed the bankruptcy court's decision. In 2002, a district court reduced Anna's award to $88.5 million. In 2006, Anna's case made it to the U.S. Supreme Court, where there was a unanimous ruling that Anna had legal grounds to challenge J. Howard's will in court, but the amount due to Anna had not been ruled. In June 2006, E. Pierce Marshall died unexpectedly of an aggressive infection. He was the last heir to his father's estate. In between court battles, Anna Nicole Smith birthed her daughter, Danny Lynn, on September 7, 2006, and 3 days later, on September 10, 2006, her 20-year-old son, Daniel Smith, from her first marriage, died while visiting her and his stepsister in the hospital. If you thought this was the saddest story you've ever heard, hold your wig. We're about to take a dip. On September 28, 2006, Howard Stern Esquire, Anna Nicole Smith's lawyer, married her in Nassau, Bahamas. On February 8, 2007, just 6 months after giving birth to her daughter and experiencing her son's death, Anna Nicole Smith died of a drug overdose. She never got around to updating her will to include her daughter, Danny Lynn. Now, I'm about to read Anna Nicole Smith's will, but I'm only going to read the first 3 articles. If you would like to read the will in its entirety, I will put the link in the description box for you to have access to. Last will and testament of Vicki Lynn Marshall. I, Vicki Lynn Marshall, also known as Vicki Lynn Smith and Vicki Lynn Hogan, and Anna Nicole Smith, a resident of Los Angeles County, California, declared that this is my will. I revoke all prior wills and codicils. I hereby dispose of all property that I am entitled to dispose of by will and exercise all general powers of appointment that I am entitled to exercise. I have not entered into a contract to make or not revoke a will. Article 1. Family declarations and statutory disinheritances. I am unmarried. I have 1 child, Daniel Wayne Smith. I have no predeceased children, nor predeceased children leaving issue. Except as otherwise provided in this will, I have intentionally omitted to provide for my spouse and other heirs, including future spouses and children, and other descendants now living and those hereafter born or adopted, as well as existing and future stepchildren and foster children. End of article. Article 2. Disposition of estate. All of the property of my estate, the residue, after payment of any taxes or other expenses of my estate as provided below, including property subject to a power of appointment exercised hereby, shall be distributed to Howard Stern, Esquire, to hold in trust for my child under such terms as he and a court of competent jurisdiction may declare, such that my child are distributed sufficient sums for health, education, and support according to their accustomed manner of living from either the income or principal of the trust until age 25, and are at that time giving 1/3 of all the income of the trust and 1/3 of the principal of the trust as then constituted, and at 30 are given 1/2 of the income from the trust and 1/2 of the principal of the trust as then constituted, and at 35 are giving all of the principal of the trust. If, in the discretion of the trustee, the amount remaining in the trust is too small to efficiently administer, he may give all of the corpus of the trust to my child at once. End of article. Article 3. Provisions regarding executors. Nomination of executor. I nominate as executor and as successor executors of this will those named below. Each successor executor shall serve in the order and priority designated if the prior designated executor fails to qualify or ceases to act. First, Howard Stern, Esquire. Second, Ron Rail, Esquire. Third, Eric James Lund, Esquire. Fourth, Wells Fargo Bank, Sandra K. Von Paul, or its successors by merger, consolidation, or otherwise. According to Russell J. Fishkind, Esquire, author of Probate Wars of the Rich and Famous, An Insider's Guide to Estate Planning and Probate Litigation, there were 3 things wrong with Anna Nicole Smith's will. Number 1, Anna indicated that she had no predeceased children. However, her son Daniel died 6 months prior to her death. Number 2, her will excluded any future children qualifying as a beneficiary after her will was executed, which means her daughter Danny Lynn did not qualify to be a beneficiary to her mother's estate. Number 3, Howard Stern, Esquire, Anna's husband and lawyer, turned out not to be the father of Danny Lynn after a DNA test. Therefore, he had a conflict of interest in making sure that he properly represented Danny Lynn. Anna Nicole Smith is one of the most tragic stories I have ever encountered. Was she just a fantasy of an old man who wanted her to show him a good time in his final days? Did she actually marry for money? The world will never know. Anna's story does have somewhat of a happy ending. Her daughter Danny Lynn was awarded her mother's estate of $700,000. She did not inherit any money from J. Howard Marshall. Danny Lynn has grown up with her biological father, Burkhead, and she turned 16 on September 7, 2022. I pray Danny Lynn's life will be less traumatic than her mother's. She seems like a good kid. I hope you enjoyed this episode of When the Stars Fall, a series I have been working on to show you cautionary tales of celebrities who died without protecting their wealth. If you enjoyed this podcast episode, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and share this episode on your social media. That's all I have for now. Until next time, I will talk to you later.